All right, for today's video, we're going to be taking a look at Transformers Generations Thrilling 30 Windblade, our first version of Windblade, back when she was just a fan voted bot, which was like the first time that they'd ever done anything like that. They wanted to design a new Transformers character, and they put out this survey that was like, oh, should they be an Autobot or Decepticon, male or female? Should the color scheme be? What should they turn into? What weapon should they use? And all of that ended up culminating in Windblade, and they made a new figure and then introduced her into the comics. And yeah, it's a cool design. It is notoriously kind of a mess of a toy, unfortunately, and we've gotten better Windblades since then. But yeah, no, she turns into a VTOL jet here. She does have the fans on her VTOL jet mode can actually rotate, and then they can actually spin themselves too. She has some landing gear here that can fold up. And yeah, notoriously, like in both modes, this figure has kind of a hard time like really staying together. You can see she's got this huge gap through the middle of her jet mode. Unfortunately, she's just a little bit bare bones and not super solid. You can fix the gap a little bit with her weapons here. So she comes with a really nice sword, and this is still my favorite version of the Windblade sword. It's a shame that I can't get this to like work with the legacy version of Windblade, because I do much prefer this version of it. And then she also does come with a sheath for the sword, which is kind of cool. So you can just slide that in there like this. And then in terms of storage, underneath here, you can just use this peg on the sheath to peg in onto the bottom of the jet, and it stores like that. It does stick out the back a little bit, and it's a little bit weird that she's got like the extra, oh, well, I don't know. I guess that could actually be used for maneuvering, and it doesn't fully close that gap, but it does help a little bit. It does weirdly kind of like keep her back to landing gear from actually touching the ground. So it does a little bit like, does kind of like wobble here a little bit, but that's not the end of the world. But yeah, overall, it just doesn't feel super solid as a jet mode, both like, I like the shape of it, but having that huge gap down the middle, having the really obvious like robot mode shins with her feet just sticking up off the top, and the fact that it just like, you move it around and stuff just kind of comes undone, which is a little bit annoying. But otherwise, it's an okay jet mode. I forget, is there a feature where the cockpit opens on this one? I can never remember. I don't think so. It kind of looks like there's a hinge there, but yeah, I think that's actually... Oh, it does. Oh, nope, just broke it. Okay, cool. Good. Yeah, oh, cool. Oh, yeah, this figure is kind of a mess. It's... Okay, well, there's your fun for the video there. The little clear plastic bit holding that on there broke. I think it actually stays on okay, but yeah, so no, that does not open. Don't try to open that. Okay, for comparisons, here she is with Kingdom Sideswipe. And here she is with our newer Legacy United. I honestly cannot remember what year this figure came out. Legacy United or Legacy Evolution Windblade. And yeah, no, I think that the overall shape of this one's jet mode is a little bit like cleaner. Like this one has kind of like a chunky cockpit, and I do like that the the VTOL blades are a lot larger, but it's a little bit more cohesive of a jet, like all being red. The shins blend in a lot better, even if they do also end up on the top there. And it definitely stays together way better. Again, I prefer the old weapon on the original one. This one's similar, especially in terms of the hilt, but the blade itself is obviously very different, and it's like really not what any version of Windblade's sword from media has actually looked like. So I don't know, but that's more of a complaint about this figure than this one. This one has plenty of complaints on its own. But yeah, that's what the two of them look like together. To get onto transformation. First thing, we can just take the sword out from underneath here and just put that off to the side. You want to take the arms underneath here. They're kind of loosely tabbed into these sections, and just kind of untab them. They're just using the hands there. And then you can take these wing sections in the back and untab those and then fold them up just like that. And that kind of loosens up this whole section. for this to kind of hinge out to the side, which gives us some clearance to work on the legs here, which we can just separate. You want to take the back fin here. Well, you actually take this bit, which will be the heel, fold it down, and then flip the fin around like that. And then take the shin sections here. They'll double hinge down onto the leg and like loosely kind of tab into place there. The feet are like one of the main problems with this this figure, as we'll see. There you have the legs all done. You just want to rotate her around at the waist, put away the landing gear, take this section. Let's see if we can actually keep it together. I'll have to like glue that or something afterwards, but you do just kind of fold it onto the back and then open this section up, take out her robot mode head, and fold that in, and then take the shoulder joints. They'll kind of double hinge up like that and kind of sink into the body. And then the wings here are on a separate joint from that hinging, which you can kind of like tilt up like this just to give them a little bit of spread. And these you can kind of fold out to the side too, and then take your little shoulder pads and fold them up. And there we have Windblade in her robot mode. And yeah, I think she looks cool. I do like the sort of like kabuki design there. It's a little bit like more serious looking than, you know, like Windblade ended up looking in the comics, which is why I think that the newer one gets that look a little bit better. But yeah, the main problem with her is because the feet, like the shins don't like really tab into place super securely, and then these pieces are both on a swivel, and then these hinges are not like super tight. I wish these like clicked into place, because when you actually like place her down, like you can get her standing, but it does not take much for those heels to collapse and just have her like fall over backwards. And when you're like actually placing her down onto the table, that tends to happen a lot, which is super annoying. And then like the whole arm panels don't really stay tabbed into place. The wings, like these bits to there, that goes again, but I'll fix that later. But like the hinges for the wings are more like you know, hardly detented than like any of the things with the shoulder mechanism. So you try to move the wings around and it just unlocks the shoulder. Her hips have these like bits here that kind of like bump into the waist, which can make it a little bit more annoying to like get her legs sitting up properly. Again, she just doesn't stay together like super well. There's a lot of things that should tab in that just kind of don't, which is unfortunate, because she does look good, but it's one of those figures that's like, once you get on the shelf, like I just kind of don't want to touch it anymore because it's such a pain to like actually get in a proper, you know, positioning and stuff like that, you know, you don't want to just like pick her up and move her around. But obviously you can give her a sword here. She does have this neat little like handle underneath here, so you can actually have her hold the sheath. Her hands are at like, you know, this opening for the hands are at this angle, so she does hold it a little bit weird. In terms of storage, there's a few different things. She does have these like, you know, the like air gaps on her thighs here that you can use this tab and tab that into, which is personally where I choose to store it. It again does not stay on super securely, which is kind of annoying. You could use this slot here, but with that broken, that definitely won't hold. But there is a slot there that kind of sandwiches between the cockpit and the back of the nose cone there that you could use that for. And then obviously we could take the sheath off and have her actually hold the sword, which she holds very nicely, and it looks super cool. Again, you know, the sword is my favorite part about this figure. I think that it came out really nice. I love how it's got this sort of like clear to purple fade there. I just think it's a really cool looking weapon, and still definitely my favorite version of the Windblade sword that we've gotten. But yeah, in terms of comparisons in this mode, if I can just get her solidly standing first. Come on. There we go. Here she is again with Kingdom Sideswipe. So you can see pretty much an average size deluxe there, although obviously she is very skinny there. And then here she is again with Legacy Windblade, just so you can see what she looks like with the newest version of the character, who I still think is much better as a figure. She's just a lot more enjoyable to mess with. There are some bits about this figure that I like prefer aesthetically. Like I really prefer the sword to like the weird sort of flame sword that she comes with. But other than that, you know, I like the head sculpt better on the newer one. Just the overall proportions are a little bit less like fiddly and like emaciated looking. Yeah, I like the bigger rotors on the old one. I like the shape of the jet mode a little bit better, but this one holds together a lot better. The transformation, though sharing a lot of the same ideas as the original one, is just a lot more like solid and enjoyable, and everything just like actually stays tabbed in a lot better in both modes. So yeah, it's definitely a much better figure, but that's what the two of them look like together. And yeah, that's pretty much all there is to say about Thrilling 30 Windblade. Not a fantastic figure. Looks cool, and has some cool stuff going on. Again, it was cool that she was like the fan built bot or whatever, but it's kind of a mess of a toy. Obviously, you can see from breaking during the video there, and also just the general fiddliness with handling her. The transformation is also fiddly. Neither the robot mode nor the jet mode stay together particularly well. She's hard to like pose and stand and stuff like that. Yeah, she was the first Windblade, so she's still a cool figure in that regard. But yeah, definitely we've had better ones since. But yeah, that's pretty much all there is to her. If you enjoy my videos, make sure to leave a like and consider subscribing to the channel. I do reviews every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. And without further ado, here we have Transformers Generations Thrilling 30 Windblade.